This site at one time for 25 years, this was a strip mine. They mined coal here. They mined coal here at this site for 25 years, from 1970 to 1995. And then later, this became a scrapyard. And who's the lady that you were asking about eyewitnesses? There were eyewitnesses. There were eyewitnesses all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, seeing things happen all the way. Some people claim in Canton, Ohio, that they saw this plane. So right here, I will tell you of a few of these eyewitnesses here. The one fellow by the name of Lee Purbaugh worked here in the scrapyard. It was his first day on the job. He had been out of work. He was so happy that he was reporting for work that day. He finally got a job. He's here working in the scrapyard. He has a blowtorch in his hand. He has no idea what is going on in America, because people that were at work that day that maybe weren't in front of a television, maybe were not listening to a radio, had no sense of the danger and the terrorism that was going on in this country. They see it coming. Remember Lee Purbaugh, first day on the job. He still has that blowtorch in his hand. He looks up and there's the plane. He looks up, that plane is right above his head. That plane is upside down. He said that he is so close to that plane, he saw the reflection of the ground below like a mirror as it flew over his head. Now where we're standing, and where there's a boulder out in that field that marks the spot that the plane came down. You see, that plane is flying about 563 miles an hour. You know how fast that is? 300 yards a second. 300 yards a second. So when Lee Purbaugh looks up and he sees that plane, he may not even have time to turn his head. The next thing is he's going to hear that plane. He's going to hear that plane crash. 1001, that plane had already crashed. We're going to walk on this flight path. Remember, that's what this is. This is the flight path of the plane. We're going to walk on this flight path. We're going to walk out to the overlook. You're going to see a boulder out in the field, and that boulder is going to mark the spot where the plane struck the earth, the last resting place of the passengers and crew of Flight 93. There was an FBI agent. Came down here from Pittsburgh. She was the first agent here. She came here within 2 hours. And when she went down where you see that boulder, that lone boulder in the field, right there, that marks where the plane came down, and buried at that boulder, there are crypts of the remains of the passengers and crew that could not be identified. When you see that boulder down there, it represents where the plane came down, but there are remains down there in that field. And when Lily Leonardi got here, she was down on that field, there was a crater down there. There was smoke coming out of that crater. She was here early on. And when she looked through those trees, down to where there's a little pond, she saw a mist form and a fog. She saw the Archangel Michael. The Archangel Michael had his sword pointed down at the ground. And behind him landed a host of angels, she said. And they all were beautiful. They all were different skin and tone, color of their skin, their hair, their texture of their hair. They were beautiful. They were in gold armor. They all landed behind the Archangel Michael. And then all of a sudden they dissipated, and she felt that they carried the souls off at that moment. There was no wildlife down there in that field, and she looked up in the sky and she saw a hawk flying